The dog stopped cold at the threshold, one paw raised, nostrils flaring, teeth bared, not growling, just trembling like something had reached inside his chest and squeezed. Deputy Cole Forrester didn't see anything. Just a run-down motel room at the edge of Lake Bellamy, yellow tape flapping in the wind, the stench of mildew, and something worse clinging to the humid air. But Coda wouldn't budge, wouldn't even look. That's when Cole noticed the scratches on the inside of the door. Deep, wide, desperate, like something had wanted out. No prints, no sign of forced entry. But something was still in there. The sky was the color of wet ash, a bruised twilight pressing down on the swampland like a warning. Deputy Cole Forrester eased out of his cruiser, the engine clicking as it cooled behind him. He stood still for a moment, listening. Crickets, distant frogs, the neon buzz of the Mosswood Motel sign sputtering overhead. Coda, his K-9 partner, had stopped moving the moment they pulled in, normally restless, tail twitching, nose in the wind, but now, still, eyes fixed on Room 6. Room 6 was where the call came from. A 911 disconnect. A woman screaming garbled static. Dispatcher traced it to the motel. Owner said no one had checked in all week. Place was half shuttered, barely holding on. "Let's go," Cole said softly. Coda didn't move. Cole tugged his vest into place, adjusted the strap on his service pistol. "Come." The shepherd whined. Ears back. Sat down in the gravel. Cole glanced at the door to Room 6. Paint peeling like sunburned skin. A single rusted chair tipped over outside it. Cushions split open like something had slashed through it. The air smelled like mold, motor oil, and something sweet underneath. Rotting sweet. Cole tried again. "Coda, with me." The dog didn't growl, didn't bark. He did something worse. He looked away. Cole stared at the motel door and drew his weapon. Inside Room 6. It took a second to push the door open. Something heavy had been pushed against it from inside, like furniture. It gave with a snap, the rusted lock tearing free from the frame. Cole stepped in. No lights, no hum of electricity. Just the sound of the motel sign buzzing through the open window, and the faint rush of wind through threadbare curtains. And the smell, like copper, sweat, rot, and something beneath it all, faint and cloying like old perfume. His flashlight swept across the room. A small kitchenette with a crusted hot plate, a tipped-over chair, wallpaper torn and long, frantic claw marks. Something had lived here, and not well. Cole moved deeper. The mattress was bare, stained. A chain, thick, rusted, bolted to the metal frame. Shackles at the end. One open, one closed. Still locked around a human ankle. No foot, just a bone, yellowed and dry. Cole exhaled, slow and careful, holstered his weapon, and reached for his radio. That's when he saw the photos. Dozens of them, strung up on a cracked clothesline along the wall. Paper clips, old Polaroids, each one showing the same woman. Different clothes, different years, always the same expression. Desperate, and always in this room. The motel owner. His name was Roger Blaine, mid-60s, ex-logger, now ran what he called an honest stay, lived in the last unit with his wife, a stroke victim who hadn't spoken in 6 years. When Cole asked about Room 6, Roger didn't blink. "Never rent that one," he said. "You told dispatch no one checked in this week." "They didn't." He scratched his beard. "Room X has got history. I keep it locked." "It wasn't locked tonight." Roger frowned. "Well, that's impossible." "Got a key?" He shuffled to a pegboard, pulled off a rusted key with a faded 6 on it, handed it over. It was covered in dust. Cole looked at the man. "You sure no one else has access to that room?" Roger hesitated. "My boy used to," he said, "before he left." "Left?" "About 10 years back. Took off after his girl disappeared. Real sad deal." "What was her name?" The man didn't answer right away. His throat bobbed. "Julia." Cole felt a flicker in his chest. That name was on the back of 3 Polaroids in the room. Later that night, Cole's house. The rain came in around midnight. Soft at first, then hard, pelting the tin roof of his house outside town. He stood by the window, a beer sweating in his hand, watching the trees bend under the wind. Coda lay by the door, but not asleep, watching, breathing slow, deliberate. Cole's phone buzzed. Unknown number. No message. Just static. He hung up, then paused. The 911 recording he'd asked for on the drive back. He pulled it up on his laptop and hit play. Screaming. A woman. Muffled. Repeating one word. Not help. Not please. Stop. Then something in the background. Wet. Guttural. A sound like meat tearing. Then silence. Then, softly, the sound of metal dragging across concrete. Cole shut the laptop. Morning. Returned to the motel. Forensics showed up at dawn. By then, Cole had already gone back. Alone. Room 6 was worse in daylight. No body, just a leg bone. The rest looked, eaten, cleaned. In the bathroom, under the chipped sink, they found more Polaroids. These were newer. Same girl, same room, but something was off. Her eyes weren't looking at the camera anymore. They were looking at something behind it. Bellamy County Sheriff's Department, evidence room. Cole sat with the photographs. His hands shook as he lined them up in sequence. Something was changing in them. Gradually, the woman, Julia, got thinner, more frightened, but also more blurred, until the final photo. She wasn't in it, just the bed, and the shackles, and a shape on the far wall like a man. Or not quite. The light in the room changed. His desk lamp flickered. Behind him, Coda growled. Cole turned. The dog's hackles were up, staring at the file cabinet. Nothing there. Then the radio on his belt crackled. Static. Then a voice. Whispering. Room 6 wasn't empty. Midnight. Return again. He had to go back. Roger tried to stop him. Stood outside the motel in the rain, holding a shotgun with shaking hands. You don't understand what that room is, he said. Then explain it to me. My boy, Roger whispered. He brought her there, said she'd be safer, said the world was going to end, and she needed to be chained. But when I looked in, she was the one crying. Cole stared at him. You helped him. Roger didn't deny it. I kept the key, he said. I thought if I locked it up, it'd stop. Did it? Roger looked at the sky, then shook his head. No, you can't lock up what already died inside. Room 6, one last time. Cole entered at 12:04 a.m. The chain was dragging across the floor, slow and steady. No one visible. He raised his gun. Called out. Nothing. Then the bathroom door creaked, and something stepped out. It looked like Julia. For a second, but her eyes were black, lips torn, hands too long. She didn't speak, just stared, then smiled. Cole didn't move, neither did the thing that looked like Julia. She stood in the doorway of the motel bathroom, the chain still snaking out behind her, dragged, not taut, her head tilted slightly to the side, like she was trying to figure out what Cole was. Her eyes were wrong. Not just a black, not just a shine. They were empty, not dead, worse than dead, like something else was wearing them. She stepped forward. The chain scraped along the tile. Cole raised his gun. Don't. A smile cracked across her mouth. Too wide, too slow. I said stop. She did, right at the foot of the bed. She looked down at the shackle around her ankle. The flesh was gone there, just bone now. Yet she stood. Cole backed toward the door. You're not her. That smile again. Then, without warning, she moved. Not lunged. Shifted, like the room jumped forward with her. Cole fired. The first round hit her square in the chest. She jerked, stumbled, then righted herself. No blood. She blinked once. Then the lights exploded. The motel plunged into darkness. And something screamed, not her voice. Something older, deeper, wet and cracked like it had never belonged in a human throat. Cole didn't wait. He turned and ran. 1:04 a.m., Sheriff's Department. Sit down, Sheriff Weather said, his voice tight. Start from the beginning. Cole was shaking. not violently, but enough that the coffee in his hand rippled like a lake during a tremor. I saw her, he said. Julia Blaine. Or what used to be her. She's been gone 10 years, Cole. Not gone. Not buried. For a second, silence. Then Weathers sighed. Lean back. I ran that room myself. In 18, after we got an anonymous tip. Found nothing but rats and mold. It was locked, Cole said. The chain was on the inside. And the chain's not the worst part. What is? She wasn't trying to escape. The sheriff's jaw tightened. Come again. The claw marks, Cole said. The door, the bed frame, the walls, they weren't from someone trying to get out of room 6. They were from something trying to keep in. Weathers stared at him for a long time, then stood. Get some rest, Cole. That's not a denial. That's a man who's seen good deputies go sideways chasing ghosts. Cole didn't argue, but he didn't sleep either. 3:47 a.m., Forrester's house. The dream came again. Same hallway, same flickering motel lights, same sound of chain dragging. But this time, when Cole opened the room, he was the one shackled to the bed. Julia sat in the corner, smiling, bleeding from the eyes. I told you not to come back, she said. Cole snapped awake, gasping. Coda was whining at the foot of the bed, tail between his legs. The radio on his dresser was on, hissing. Then, you said you'd help me? A woman's voice, distant, static choked. He grabbed the mic. Dispatch, say again. No response. Just, I'm still here. You won't let me go? Cole stared at the radio. The channel wasn't open. Bellamy County Historical Records, next morning. The archive room was cold. Fluorescent lights hummed overhead, casting a washed-out haze over the old ledgers and property deeds stacked in metal drawers. Deputy Mara Holt was already waiting at the back table, flipping through a yellowed file. You sure this is where it starts? She asked without looking up. It's not where it starts, Cole said. It's where it loops. She arched a brow. You sound like your uncle. He wasn't wrong about Bellamy, Cole muttered. Your uncle also once told me the devil lived in a crawfish boil. Still does. Down off County Road, too. She rolled her eyes and slid a file across the table. Motel opened in 1961. Originally called Bellamy Retreat Lodge. Owner, Clay Forrester. Cole blinked. That's my grandfather. I know. He scanned the file. Guest logs. Tax assessments. Health violations. Nothing unusual until... Wait. He tapped a sheet. June 1974. Report of a woman gone missing from room 6. Mara turned the page. No record of resolution. Sheriff at the time closed it due to insufficient evidence. Cole flipped through more. July 1981. Another. Then again in 1989. 1997. 2004. Every 7 years. Always June or July. Always room 6. Back at the motel that afternoon. Cole didn't ask for backup. He brought a crowbar, a fresh chain, a body cam, and Coda, though the dog refused to step even 1 foot inside again. So Cole left the door cracked, just enough to slide through, and clicked on the camera. Everything was as he left it, except the Polaroids. They were gone, every single one. The wall was bare. The shackle on the bed was still there, but open. No sign of blood, no bone. But something else sat where Julia had stood the night before. A stuffed rabbit, matted fur, one eye missing, a pink bow around the neck. He reached for it, and the lights went out again. In the black, the door slammed behind him. Chain rattle. A whisper, don't break the loop. Bellamy Woods, 7:11 p.m. Mara met Cole near the tree line off the service road. He was holding the rabbit like evidence. This is what she was holding in the 2004 photo, he said. I didn't see it then. But look, same tear on the left ear. And it just appeared? He nodded. Or was left. She studied him. What are you not telling me? He hesitated. My dad, he said quietly, he used to disappear for days at a time. Said it was maintenance out by the old lodge. But the motel wasn't open. Not since I was a kid. She frowned. You think it was part of it? I think someone in my family always has been. Roger Blaine's house, 9:30 p.m. The old man was drunk. Cole found him on the back porch, staring into the woods, a bottle of wild turkey cradled in one hand. You knew what was in there, Cole said. Roger didn't turn. I tried to end it. How? Burned the room in 95. Thought I got it, but it came back. It always comes back. Cole stepped closer. What is it? Roger took a long pull from the bottle. My son. He thought he could contain it. Said it picked a host every cycle. Said the girl wasn't the first and wouldn't be the last. He kept her alive? Roger turned now. Eyes bloodshot. No, son. He kept her dead. Cole felt a cold sweat climb his spine. Roger whispered. He made a deal. With something. I heard in the walls. I still do. Where is he now? Roger smiled. Room 6. Return midnight again. Cole went alone. This time he brought fire, a can of gasoline, matches, the motel empty, road deserted, Coda howling from the cruiser as Cole forced the door open one last time. The room didn't fight him now. It welcomed him. The lights were already on. On the bed sat a man, middle-aged, gaunt, hollow eyes. He looked like Cole, or who Cole might become. You're late, the man said. Are you Richard Forrester? I was. Cole gritted his teeth. You kept her here. I kept it bound, Richard said calmly. But you broke the seal. You let it loose. Then I'll burn it. Richard smiled sadly. Burning this room won't do anything. The root isn't here. Cole hesitated. Richard continued, voice flat. It's in you now. Cole's breath hitched. Richard Forrester sat calmly on the bed, the shackles still locked around his ankle, as if he belonged to the furniture now. The old chain coiled beside him like a sleeping snake. Everything in the room looked still, too still, like time had stopped the second Cole stepped inside. You're lying, Cole said. Richard didn't blink. I wish I were. You think this thing, whatever it is, wants me? It chose you, Richard said, voice level. Same way it chose Julia. Same way it chose me. Bloodline's not the only thing it follows, but it helps, especially when one of us opens a door. Cole stared. I didn't open it. You stepped through it. That's enough. You saw it, heard it. That's all it takes. Room 6 is a wound. It leaks. Cole's fingers tightened around the gas can. Then I'll cauterize it. You try, Richard said, but it won't burn. Not really. It'll scorch the walls, blister the paint, blacken the door. But what's in here? He tapped his temple. It moves. It hides. It waits. Cole didn't move, but he noticed something. Coda had stopped barking outside. Why didn't you kill it? Cole asked. I tried, Richard said. God knows I tried. But it's not about killing. It's about breaking. That's what it does. It breaks people. Slowly. Quietly. One decision at a time. You kept her chained for 10 years, Cole said, his voice raw. You let her rot. She wasn't her anymore, Richard snapped. And I didn't chain her to punish her. I chained her to keep it from leaving. Cole's mouth was dry. You expect me to believe you did all this to protect people? I don't care what you believe, Richard said. But now it's your turn. It touched you. It's inside you. And if you leave now, it leaves with you. Outside, 12:27 a.m. The door burst open. Coda whined and backed away, ears flat, as Cole stumbled out of the room. He was drenched in sweat, face pale, eyes wild. He didn't say a word. He just poured the gasoline at the threshold, lit the match, and dropped it. The room went up like dry tinder. Flames clawed at the night sky. Smoke billowed, thick and greasy. But as the fire tore through the doorway, Cole didn't look away, because through the crackling inferno, he saw her, Julia, standing inside the room, smiling, unafraid, and not burning. Bellamy County Sheriff's Department, next morning. The motel was a smoldering ruin. Firefighters found nothing in room 6. No remains, no bones, Not even the steel shackle, as if it had never existed. "Sheriff," Weathers called Cole into his office. Closed the door. "I read your report," he said, tossing the file onto the desk. "It says the fire started due to faulty wiring." Cole didn't answer. Weathers leaned forward. "Do you believe that?" Cole shook his head. "Then tell me what really happened." Cole stared at the sheriff. "Would you believe me?" Weathers paused, then said carefully, "Depends how much truth you're willing to live with." Cole stood. "I've got something I need to bury." The woods behind Cole's house, 10:45 a.m. The rabbit was heavier than it looked. Waterlogged now, mud clinging to the seams. They dangled loose, swinging with every step. Coda walked ahead, tail down but not tucked, like he was mourning something he couldn't explain. Cole dug deep, not for the rabbit, for what it meant, the last physical object from room 6. He dropped it in, covered it with earth, stamped the soil down hard. Coda didn't move. He just sat and watched. When Cole turned to go, he saw the footprints. Small, bare, leading away. Later, county records. The birth certificate was old, handwritten, folded twice, and sealed in wax. Julia Adele Blaine, B., 1985. Father, unknown. Mother, Karen Forrester. Cole stared at the name. Heart-sinking. He checked the family Bible his mother kept in the attic. Pages yellowed. Scribbled in ink and pencil. Karen, twin sister of Clay Forrester, died in childbirth. Julia survived, but no one ever mentioned her. No photos, no letters, no visits. They buried that secret so deep no one thought would claw its way back. But it did. In room 6, Mara Holt's apartment, 8:03 p.m. "Tell me everything," Mara said. She sat across from him, hair up, sleeves rolled, no makeup, just real. Human. Cole hadn't seen real in days. He told her about the room, the thing pretending to be Julia, Richard's warnings, the dreams, the rabbit, the fire, his mother's twin. When he finished, she was quiet for a long time. Then, "So what now?" Cole stared at the floor. "It's not over." "No, it's in me," he said. "I can feel it. Not a voice, not possession, just a pull. To room 6. To something worse," he whispered, like the room was just a start. She touched his hand. "Then we stay ahead of it." 2 weeks later, State Psychiatric Hospital, 100 miles south. Richard Forrester was admitted under emergency protective custody. Catatonic, unresponsive, blood pressure dangerously low. Kept muttering the same phrase under his breath. "Don't break the loop, don't break the loop." Cole visited once. Stood on the other side of the glass. Richard didn't speak. But as Cole turned to go, the lights in the hallway flickered, and Richard smiled. Bellamy County. Summer thunderstorm, 3:21 a.m. Cole woke to the sound of dripping. Not from the ceiling, from the radio. It was weeping. A soft, slow, wet sound coming from the speaker, like someone trapped behind it. Coda stood in the doorway, watching him, not growling, just watching. Cole approached the radio, turned it off, but the weeping continued. From the closet, he opened it. Nothing inside, just the stuffed rabbit. Dry, clean, 2 eyes. Final entry, personal journal unfiled. I don't know how many people room 6 took. I don't know if it was ever just a place. What I do know is this. Once you see it, you never unsee it. Once you hear it, the silence never feels safe again. I think room 6 was a door, not a destination. A test, maybe, or a funnel. Some ancient drain that something used to reach people like Julia, people like me. And it didn't die in the fire. Fire can't kill memory, or family, or whatever's still waiting for me when the dreams start again. Epilogue, 7 years later. The Mosswood Motel was rebuilt. New owners. New name, Whispering Pines Lodge. Room numbers rearranged. No room 6 anymore. But every July, guests in room 3 complain about sounds in the walls. Chains, crying, clawing, The lodge manager always smiles and says it's nothing, just an old building, just the wind. But he keeps a stuffed rabbit behind the front desk. He never touches it, and the cleaning lady swears it moves.